Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's Betting Weekly Game Bet Match, the number one tennis betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers, your hometown sportsbook. This week we have a Masters 1000 event. It's the National Bank Open, presented by Rogers, the in Canada Masters, really essentially what it's called, but it's the 1000 event over in Toronto. It's alternated each year between Toronto and Montreal, and this year is in Toronto. As you can see, unfortunately, today I'm not joined by my co-host, Sean Calvert. He has an issue today to deal with, and unfortunately he can't make it onto the show. But he will be back on Tuesday, thankfully, give him some winners. That's the disappointing thing that Sean isn't there. But before you log off, before you leave the show and, turn off, I have spoke to Sean, and he has given me his selections on the outright market. We're not going to be previewing any matches for this particular round, but we will do on Tuesday. So I apologise in advance for Sean not being able here today, but I'm carrying the fort and going solo. So the tournament is obviously the tournament over in Canada. It's a big event for Bet Rivers, loads of different markets available on the 1000 event, but it's a very weak 1000 event. If we're looking at the draw, well, number one, Yannick Sinner has pulled out. Carlos Alcaraz isn't involved as well. And now neither is Novak Djokovic, a player who has done well in this competition, previously won it in 2016, 2012 and 2011, and prior to that, 2007. So the four-time champion isn't here as well, which means it's got quite a little bit of a weak look about the draw. There's some quarters are all very different. Q1 looks tough. Q4 looks very, very tough as well. Q2 and Q3 give some players with at a big price a huge advantage to go deep in a tournament. So it's a big opportunity for fringe players to do well here and go on and win a big title. If you look at the previous records here and the previous results here, it's a tournament that's thrown up a few shocks. Last year it was won by Alexei Popyrin. Nobody would have seen him win the tournament, the Aussie. Yannick Sinner did win it in 2023, but in 2022 it was won by Carina Busta, the Spanish player as well. He beat Hubert Hurkacz in the final as well. Nadal won it in 2019 and 2018. Medvedev had a fantastic hardcourt campaign in 2021 when he won it. So it is a tournament where you have a chance, and especially this week where there is so many players missing. The other thing you got to remember as well, usually a lot of the big players skip it because of the way it's being put in the calendar. Straight after Wimbledon, players don't really fancy it, or when they do come in here, they put in rather lethargic performances. So you can get players beat at heavy odds on here. As I said at the top of the show, it's alternated between Montreal and Toronto. This week it is in Toronto, and Toronto is quite a medium to quick court. So it's I expect it will be playing a little bit quick. The weather, early part of the week, a little bit of rain around, but it gets warmer as the week tournament goes on. Obviously, it's a longer tournament here, being the 1000 event. And I expect temperatures to be around about the 80s and 90s later on in the week. Toronto is also at altitude as well, which makes the balls fly around a little bit quicker. And obviously, we expect some big servers to do well. Let's have a look at the draw. If you look at the draw, number one seed is Alexander Zverev. He's the number one seed. And if it went to the seedings, he would be playing Holger Rune, the man who pulled out last week in Washington. But he's fit to come back in this week, hopefully. With his new coach, Andre Agassi. So Zverev against Rune would be one of the quarterfinals. Lorenzo Musetti, who is not in any form at all, he will play Casper Ruud. And that is your top half of the draw. So your top four seeds, Zverev, Rune, Musetti and Ruud. That is not your usual standard of a 1000 event. In the bottom half, it would be Francis Tiafoe. He will play Ben Shelton, and an All-American affair. And Andrei Rublev will play Taylor Fritz. So as you can see, there is a huge opportunity for players here to go deep. Let's have a look at the outright odds with Bet Rivers. Alexander Zverev is 6-1 to win this title. Taylor Fritz is 6-1 as well. They're the joint favourites. Alex de Minaur, who is in the final in Washington a little bit later on tonight, he's 10-1. Ben Shelton, 10-1, leading. Got a good chance there. He's up to a career high in the world rankings at the moment. Medvedev shows signs of a little bit of a comeback before he got beat by Mute in Washington. He's 12-1. Fonseca, 14-1. A big opportunity for the Brazilian here, but 14-1 does look a very low price. Jakob Mensik is 20-1. Holger Rune, 25. Lehechka, 25. Musetti, 25. And then we go into some big prices. Artur Feast, 28-1. Felix Auger-Aliassime, 28-1. Tiafoe, 28-1. And 30-1 bar those players. I have spoken to Mr. Calvert, and he has given me a couple of players that he likes this week on the outright market. And the first pick is somebody that isn't even in the draw. And sorry, he's not in the draw. He's not in the betting on that page there. So he is in the draw. We need someone to be in the draw to win the tournament. He is in the draw, but he's not in the betting. And that player is Denis Shapovalov at 40-1 with Bet Rivers. Head across to the Bet Rivers website now. Don't download the app, and you'll see they will get 40-1 for Shapovalov. Now, Shapovalov is a bit of a streaky player, but he's in some good form at the moment. I mean, he won the tournament in Los Cabos. If you look at his record, his recent hardcourt record is very, very good. He's won 14 of his last 17 hardcourt matches. He's actually from Toronto as well, so he's a local boy. He's going to have a huge amount of support. He will be suited by the conditions. You obviously, when they have these kind of tournaments, the courts are always catered for the home players, and obviously Shapovalov is the home player, has a good advantage. That's a little bit of advantage for him there. So we played to his levels that she likes, and he's been given a decent draw. I mean, he's situated in Q2. He opens up with a bye. Obviously, the 32 seeds are all bye through to the second round. He'll probably learn a TN, which may be a little bit difficult for him, but we would expect him to win that. Thomas Mahaksh is the last 32 opponent. Musetti could be the opponent in the last 16. Musetti is not fit at all and hasn't looked good since the French Open. And then in the quarterfinals, it's anyone's guess who he can play. Kachanov, Casper Ruud, but none of them would probably fear Shapovalov. And he has a very, very good opportunity to go deep in Q2, which looks one of the weakest sections of the group. He's definitely a bet at 40-1. I think that's a price that probably won't be around for much longer. So make sure you head across to the Bet Rivers and take that. So our first pick there is going with the home player. We are going for Denis Shapovalov at 40-1 with Bet Rivers. If you like what you're seeing on this show and you want to subscribe to our newsletter, which goes out every Monday and Friday, there'll be a newsletter dropping on Monday. The Betting Weekly Insider comes out on Friday. Please do so by subscribing to the newsletter at bettingweeklystudios.com. It's all for free, and you'll get lots of more content from all of the handicapping team here on the Betting Weekly Studios. His second selection is another Canadian. Sean is going for Felix Auger-Aliassime at 28-1 with Bet Rivers. Felix Auger-Aliassime is seeded number 23 this week. He is in the third quarter. He's in with Tiafoe, Cam Norrie, Tsitsipas, Alex de Minaur, and Cobolli. Alex de Minaur is into the final in Washington, so he's got a long week to come back-to-back, traveling and get across there. He could be spent. Tiafoe has had another long week as well, but also played some long matches in Washington. The euphoria over that. And Auger-Aliassime is on a high. He's just won the Hopman Cup, where he paired with Bianca Andreescu to get success for Canada there in the Hopman Cup. He's a player that's obviously, again, suited by the conditions. He will have the huge amount of support from the fans as well. And Sean believes it's going to be a good week for the Canadian players. We saw last week in Czechoslovakia on the women's tour that 3 Czechoslovakian players got through to the semi-finals in that tournament, in their home tournament. And we think the Canadians here will do well in what does look a wide open 1,000 event here. Major question marks about Alexander Zverev at this moment in time. Taylor Fritz has played an awful lot of tennis. Alex de Minaur, the third favourite, must be spent after the week he's had in Washington. And the players we expect to capitalise this week are the Canadians. So our 2 picks here from Sean Calvert are Denis Shapovalov, 40-1 with Bet Rivers. That price, I guarantee you, will not last. So make sure you get across now to that website. Take that 40-1. It could be a massive price for what looks like a very, very favourable draw for the homegrown player. And also Felix Auger-Aliassime, fresh off a Hopman Cup win with Bianca Andreescu. Canadian tennis is on the high, and we expect 2 players to go very, very far in their home tournament. If you make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Betting Weekly Studios, hit that subscribe button there on the shelf. Ring the bell as well. You'll be notified of every time any content does drop here on the channel. And also follow us on socials at Because We Win. All the handicapping team, we there. We have loads more content coming throughout this week. Sean will be back on Tuesday, so I apologise again for him not being here today, but he'll be back on Tuesday. And Wednesday, normal service will resume. And we also have the start of the English football seasons and the leagues across Europe coming up, which will feature in the next couple of weeks on Betting Weekly Live, 11 o'clock every day Eastern time. And also we have Betting Weekly Tennis Live for your tennis fix as well. All the live in-play from Canada with all the handicapping team, myself, Dustin Fox, Mitch Michaels, Tim Dennis, Rory Girani as well, all every day, Monday through to Wednesday, with all the best in-play here on the YouTube channel at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So that's it for a very different betting weekly game bet match today. Unfortunately, on my own today, but hope you've spent the time with me. I have spoke to Sean. He has given us the little bets there. I don't have the breakdowns. He does it in his fantastic way that he does. But they are his bets, and we are hoping that a good week for Canadian tennis. Back as usual on Tuesday. Thanks very much for your time. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll be back with more winners on Tuesday on Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. Take care.